Enjoy your music while I get my shoes on. Yeah. Boop. A little bit of sadness. Regular ignore L, sad. How's it an L? That should be kind of. Damn dog! Seriously! Anyway, like, you know that's like typical. I'll have it out there at the off chance you see a squirrel or something. That's a fat fly. Holy shit. Zukov pointed up and saw it before I did. Damn pup. And there it is. Well, yeah. Like, what? You think I'm just gonna have you stare up at the sky? Alright. What the hell's going on here? Oh. YouTube took away Human Reports monetization. I know. Dude, it's been like that for a while. Well before Mike made the video. Got food. What'd I do with it? Oh, there you are. There we go. Yum. Yummy, yummy. Good old coffee. Here, play a couple tunes, get a bowl going here. We'll check out some shit. Hey. Yeah. That's wrong. Play some shit. Well, that's gonna be way too loud. Oops. Hey! Uh-oh, I'm feeling the need to blow my nose and I have nothing to do that with. Fuck. Uh-oh. Is this an issue? I'm having issues. Great. I'm looking to see if I have like a napkin around somewhere. No, I don't. There's been an update on it. On the human sport. I didn't think anyone would care. It's really touching. I'm officially in contact with a YouTube rep. So he's actually like contacting with an official rep. Is that what's going on? Because every time, you know, Mike has supposedly been getting in contact with YouTube rep would lie to him and basically just give him an AI automated message. I also noticed that Mike, at least in his video, was saying that, like, I don't want to use the whole gay card or the queer card, you know, being demonetized, but I'm just like, Mike, that's literally probably the reason why you were. You're an openly politically, you know, like, commentative gay man, and very unapologetic about it. Like, what, like, I mean, with a platform like YouTube that is more about pushing, like, far-right extremist, like, heteronormative garbage, like, of course you're going to be demonetized and censored. You know, so it's just like, I mean, with a platform that is way more, you know, willing to cater to that shit, more so than, like, anything that's queer or whatever the fuck, yeah, It's like, I mean, it ain't a woke scold, or it ain't, like, some, you know, SJW for doing that, Mike. So, like, honestly, like, when you said it near the end of the video, I was just like, man, I mean, like, that's what's happening, basically. Far lefty, gay guy, very unapologetically, you know, progressive about his, you know, politics. I mean, it's like, in that situation, it's like, what do you expect? For them to boost your content and monetize you? I mean, if they know what's good for them, they will. Like, I mean, yeah, they will remonetize them if they know what's good for, you know, like, when it comes to at least his fans and the community around him. But, I mean, I can guarantee you, YouTube is very adamant about not wanting to do it. The only reason why they're willing to is because of the pressure. Hey! Zukov! Dude! What the hell? Why? Oh, dick, bro. So, Doggo is a dick. It's like, what is there to, like, boof about? There ain't nothing out there to be boofing about. I'm really digging this Glory Hammer album. Glory Hammer's like newest album just came out a couple days ago, and finally get to listen to it. It's like, it's fucking epic. It's like Sci-Fi Fantasy, but now it's like Nuclear Wasteland. Because now there's like nuclear bikes and nukes going off and shit, so it's like, alright. Glamour's just like going over the top every album. I fucking love it. Is that what you're boofing about? You're hungry? Good little butt. Oh shit, what's this? The first ever esports strike. Oh shit, gamers are on strike? Dude, based. Fuck yeah. Even the gamers are butthurt. Even the gamers are on strike. Nice. That's actually, like, fucking, like, surprising. I didn't think, like, you know, that type of, like, consciousness would actually, like, have hit the gamers. Though I feel like maybe that's just probably due to the fact that there was, like, that time for a while where, like, being, like, a gamer is almost kind of synonymous with, like, this whole anti-SJW right-wing shit. Because, like, there were a lot of content creators around that time that were basically just kind of, like, you know, right-leaning and stuff. Like, I remember a few of them. Like, I know at least one dude was, like, there was a guy named, like, Rags. I think there's, like, a few others and shit. Like, there's like, ironic how one of them's called Rags. But, you know, so, you know, there's, like, a few of these type of dudes. So, like, you know, gaming was almost kind of, like, for a while synonymous with, like, these weird right-wing dorks. Which, luckily, isn't really so much the case anymore. I mean, plus, like, gaming is not exclusive to, like, any group or anything. I also think a lot of that was probably just due to, like, some of that, like, edgelord culture and shit, because a lot of the videos from that, if it wasn't, like, you know, skits of shit, usually it'd be, like, commentary videos with, like, some, like, CSGO slide or some shit like that, you know, with, like, Leafy is here or something. So, like, anything that usually pertained around, like, a game, it was usually, at least, you know, for a time, was kind of, like, for a while there, you know, just, like, also, like, included with, like, the raunchy, edgy, like, anti-SJW shit for a while. I mean, there was, like, whole Anita Sarkeesian's grift about, like, oh my god, how come we can't see Batman's butt, but we can see, like, all the other butts? I mean, there was that fucking shit. Dude, what a... man. How things were strangely simpler then. And it wasn't even, like, 10 years ago. Actually, it's coming along 10 years about now. We're actually about hitting the, like, decade mark about where it kind of started to kind of grow a little bit, but we haven't hit its peak. That'd probably be around 2025. Man, how much time is, like, somehow accelerated, but yet has remained constant? What was 10 years ago, so I was taking a shit. I saw this. First ever esports strike. I was kind of talking about how, like, you know, for a while, like, you know, essentially, like, about less than 10 years ago, how, like, for a while, like, gaming is, you kind of was, like, this raunchy kind of edgelord anti-SJW thing. But now, at this point, like, well, see, like, the first ever esports strike happened. Or is going on now. Which, from, like, 10 years ago would be something that, frankly, would have been legit. Honestly, that would have been unheard of, like, a couple years ago. Like, even, like, 3 or 4 years ago, this would have been unheard of. But now it's, like, legit a thing that's kind of happening. It's like, oh, shit. I didn't know about Gamergate till years later. Well, I mean, that's kind of what I'm talking about, really. It's just kind of whole Gamergate era. I mean, that's honestly what I am talking about. Yeah, I mean, it was Gamergate, basically. I mean, at least, you know, some part of it was. I mean, Gamergate was more than that, but, I mean, there was a lot of shit around that, honestly. But, if you haven't known about it till years later, then consider yourself lucky. I was in muck of that shit. Zooks. I like nothing to blow nose, but I really got to. Ugh. Fucking annoying. Well, that just means I'm gonna need to get some napkins when I do grocery shopping after work. What you doing, doggo? What you doing over there? You're just giving me a stare down. Like, you always give me stare downs, bro. Yeah, I'll give him another pork bun. All music is pretentious in some way, shape, or form. Well, if you're gonna, like, I mean, have that position about music, then how can anyone, then how could you enjoy music? And I don't even agree with that, honestly. I mean, I don't know if I do, honestly. That's true, because it's a reflection of them. But that doesn't make it pretentious. It's just a reflection of, like, you know, an artist's, like, creativity or imagination or commentary about something. I mean, that doesn't inherently make something pretentious. Especially some message, and that's what makes it pretentious. Okay, look, like, I'm not saying ban art. Well, I'm not saying that's what you're saying. But just because all art, to some extent, is pushing a message of some sort, I mean, which might not even absolutely totally be true. Some art is just made for the sake of creating it, and the message is inferred on the viewer. I mean, so, like, how would it be pretentious? Oh my god, you know, I just want to, like, have this definition up here. Attempt to oppress by affecting greater importance, talent, culture than is actually possessed. Yeah, how's, like, I mean, art in its nature is not inherently just, like, that. And besides, like, affecting greater importance, sound, culture than is actually possessed, then, like, there's plenty of art that sure as shit ain't. Because there's been plenty of art that is, like, stood the test as, you know, being important, or, like, very important pieces of artwork and shit. Or just, like, really influential, and or very cultural and shit like that. I mean, so by that logic, yeah, like, then yeah, like, there's a large swath of art that sure as shit ain't. So, I mean, just ain't by nature political and message driven. And again, that doesn't inherently make it pretentious. If anything, the aspect that does is if it, you know, holds, you know, great importance than what is actually possessed. Like, you know, if I created, like, an art piece or some shit, and it was like, oh, this is, you know, the most greatest, you know, piece that has ever been created, or whatever the fuck, then yeah, that would be pretentious. But at least, you know, for someone like me, I wouldn't, because I'm not pretentious. I'm not saying art is bad, by the way. Well, I mean, the whole, like, idea of something being pretentious is usually not seen as a positive thing. It's usually seen as a negative. So, I mean, like, when saying that is pretentious, like, it kind of implies that it's just, like, you know, not, like, what the fuck? Really? You're assaulting your food bowl now after you ate out of it? You know, both of those are empty. I just realized you don't even have water in there. That's just a needy little hoe. Here you go. Yeah. I mean, all art pushes some message, some form, or it can lead to conclusions if not creative, explicit intent. but that's not really the fault of the artist or the problem of the artist or the art. Like, that would be the person who's viewing the art at that point. Because, like, art only really truly has meaning in it if, you know, the viewer looking at the art, you know, infers it. Like, obviously the artist has their own meaning and ideas about it when it comes to creating, you know, art, but at the end of the day, the viewer is going to be the one who's going to, you know, interpret something out of it. Even if, like, there's a message or a commentary being overtly pushed within a piece of art. I mean, it's like, you know, you can't really necessarily control how someone views and interprets a piece of artwork. So when it comes to, like, even in that sense, I mean, it's still very subjective, and thus, you know, like, art can't, you know, by its nature be, like, pretentious. I mean, it can push, you know, like, an idea of a message or a commentary or something, but, I mean, unless, you know, the viewer is inferring that, you know, then, you know, it's like they're not going to get it. Propaganda be a better word than pretentious to you, then? I guess, but even I would just say that just, like, you know, having a, you know, like a theme or a commentary or a message, you know, would just be better. Because, you know, because that just makes more sense. Because, I mean, like, and you know, because obviously, like I said, there can be art that is pretentious, but, I mean, at least, you know, when I was looking at the direct definition of what pretentious is, just to make sure that we're kind of on the same page about it, you know, it's just like, I mean, with its definition in mind, I mean, even then, most art isn't. I mean, you could definitely, I mean, there's definitely plenty of art, you know, that falls under the idea of being important culturally or, you know, via message or, like, talent or importance and stuff like that. All art can also fall into for some reason I was saying. Well, sure, I mean, these are things that can be inferred to art. And art can be created for those reasons. But art in itself, by its nature, isn't. It can be. And plenty are. I mean, why do you think it's like propaganda posters and shit? I mean, you know, they definitely exist. Basically, what I'm just saying is just like art's very subjective. Like, realistically, at the end of the day, like, I mean, it like the message or the commentary or, you know, the propaganda or whatever the fuck, it only really works if, you know, the viewer is, you know, inferring that information from the art. And even if they are, maybe they just have their entire different position or interpretation about that. Like, let's say you got, like, you know, some sort of art piece that's depicting, like, a protest or some shit, like, you know, the struggle between, like, you know, the state and, you know, the people or something like that. You know, some people might see that artwork as kind of like, you know, a sense of, like, an advocation of, like, you know, revolutionary action, and some people might infer that as, you know, like, this is what anarchy looks like, and this is bad. You know, some people can say that, you know, it's like, oh, the state's actually, you know, good, you know, in this art piece, and showing that the people just don't know better and need to be controlled. I mean, people can infer different, you know, ideas for something like that. I mean, and we also see this in real life, you know, outside of art, when it comes to, like, you know, looking at videos and shit like that, right? I mean, so, at the end of the day, like, you know, these type of things are kind of inferred or subjected by the viewer. Even if the artist itself has a intent, you know, to have a message or commentary within the art. Can morph as social changes occur? Sure. And also, art, you know, can have, you know, meaning change to somebody over the generations, you know, as, you know, people infer different ideas and as social changes occur. So art, you know, from like 100 years ago might have had, you know, certain meanings to people then, but now have different meanings to people now. I mean, which actually definitely happens. I mean, look at the Mona Lisa. Like, that, you know, art piece technically isn't really worth much. It really isn't worth shit, like, to be honest. Like, the only reason why it's so famous is literally because it got stolen. Like, so that art piece, you know, for a long time didn't have much meaning or inference or importance, but because of a certain event that led to a pretty significant social change of, like, oh shit, this got stolen, and led to serious importance to the art piece. And thus, ever since, it's been seen as this, like, exceptionally important piece of art. Literally just because it was stolen. What'd you get, a foot stopper finally?
Yeah, it's not working.
Damn it. You got one, but it didn't work. Damn it. That was science, not art, though. Like, Darwin never meant mysterious to be used to justify fascism, but it did. Science and art does seem fine. Well, yeah, but that's kind of, the point I make, though. It's like, obviously, Darwin didn't expect his, theories and his science, to be used for pseudoscience and Nazistic bullshit. But, that's kind of why, like, I mean, at least, in this perspective, it's also kind of a similar thing. Like, at least, it's only a little different in the sense that, like, I guarantee you that at least the Nazis in that case, or fascists in this case, recognize that he isn't, but just use it because it justifies their ideas and what they think is, more proper when it comes to, like, biological essentialist bullshit. And, like, their weird naturalistic fallacy nonsense that they want to push with it, too. Six. Hey, buddy. Here. Here, get a pork bun. Come here.
Go on.
A little authoritarian left in me, but it's not because I don't think economics should be left to business executives. Well, I'm not I don't really got some authoritarian left in me. Like, I don't. Like, I'm definitely a, like, social libertarian, hardcore lefty anarchist type. So, I mean, and even, and I don't think, the economy should be run by those fuckers either. I don't think you have to be authoritarian by any nature for you to believe that. Council social economic theorists. Nah, I'm not even, like, fond of that. I'm definitely more in favor of, like, a lot more of a, like, national representative, like, worker council of a sorts. Like a workers' parliament. Where, it's basically, I mean, they're officials that are elected, like, as they normally would be. But it's just, predominantly based, via, like, a lot more of a actual solidification and codification of, like, at least a lot of the structure of the union being interwoven into government. But that's just syndicalism. And that doesn't necessarily mean just, like, oh, they are a part of negotiations and a part of, like, the broader conversation about, like, legislation. No, they take control of it. Like, they are in charge of that. Politician ain't no more. Fucking lobbyist ain't no more. Want to be democratic for it? Well, yeah. I mean, my idea is inherently democratic in its nature. In fact, it's a lot more direct. A lot more direct than what we got now, for sure. Come here. Come on. Come here. Goof. Don't want to blow efficient bureaucracy either. Well, yeah, I mean, like, to a certain degree, we're gonna always have some level of bureaucracy, but it needs to be mainstreamed, or I guess streamlined, I should say, because it definitely needs to, be, like, I mean, because, like I said, I mean, there's gonna be, like, as you have, like, different institutions or agencies that do exist, and, like, levels of government, with that, of course, it's gonna have some level of bureaucracy with it. However, like, I mean, there is a reasonable line where, like, it's understandable that there's going to be some, and then there's a line of saying where it's just inefficient and it actually undermines any actual form of, like, governmental work from being done. Which, like, that is where it, to me, becomes a problem, where I think a lot of people have the issue with bureaucracies, because it literally just undermines and stonewalls and obstructs from a lot of genuine progress from things from happening, and ends up prolonging a lot of fucking efforts and shit, whether it's for like courts, legislation, lawmaking, whatever the fuck. Education requirement for voting. I wouldn't, mainly because, I mean, if you have like a restructured education system that, you know, actually like uplifts, you know, when it comes to like critical thinking and you know, shit like that, you wouldn't have to do that. Even if you do have some people that are stupid, at least there would be less of. You have to take some social education class. Well, I think that should just be kind of like required. Like, I think understanding like your local politics and shit and how it works should be required as like, you know, at least in high school. Like for like the last half of high school, you should be taking those classes so you at least have a basic understanding about how your fucking local politics work. At least local. So like here's how like the state, you know, government works, and here's like the basic foundation of like how the county and blah blah blah, and you know, and all that shit. And yeah, I'd include like, you know, basic foundation of how the national politics work too, but I would, you know, specifically, you know, like focus more with local shit, because obviously, you know, the like, you know, there are kids that are graduating from high school in the town that they're going to live in for at least a little bit, then they're going to probably want to understand how things work around there, right? At least, you know, IMO. And if it's IMO, it's like, I mean, yeah, like, the thing is, like, I mean, obviously needs to be a push for that, but you can't really overtly legislate it. That's kind of the problem. I mean, to do that, it requires social change. Should wipe out all wiring groups. Do you know what coded language is? I mean, like, seriously. I mean, because, like, and also with that, I mean, it's like, which types? Like, just, like, some random, like, you know, fucking, like, just random, like, you know, the, like, Mom's Christian, like, group or whatever the fuck. Or, like, you know, with, you know, or, like, you know, Stormfront. I mean, because, like, there's a shitload of different, like, right-wing groups that exist, but, you know, I won't say a lot of them, but there's a decent chunk of them that really are just like some weird Christian group that just gets together and does Bible studies every now and then. That doesn't mean, obviously, there are military, paramilitary fucks. Of course there is. I mean, and they're not just like groups, they're fucking terrorist organizations. And frankly, like, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, we should be treating them, you know, with more extreme measures. And as far as I'm concerned, ever since World War II, Nazis are openly and still are considered an enemy of the state. So that should be enforced. I mean, so realistically, I mean, it's like we do have systems in place to deal with that, but we don't, because the FBI and our government loves to sleep on it. Effects of logic ignite. No one said it had to be violent. Well, yeah, and I advocate for that. I mean, violence and use of as a form of self-defense. I advocate that as self-defense, by the way, caveats, but never as the aggression. Because I mean, the whole point, you know, when it comes to something like that, is that like if you end up being the aggressor, especially to a lot of like normies or people on the outside, they're gonna look at you as, you know, being, well, the aggressor. Even if like you're justified in the aggression, you know, it wouldn't matter. And at least the whole idea is to at least, you know, have more people in solidarity on your side, And the more people that are in solidarity on your side, the less likely the fucking fascists are gonna win. And if they're the ones who are always on the aggression, on the attack, then they're continuously demonizing themselves to the rest of the populace. It's actor die. Well, I don't disagree with that, but I'm careful about my verbiage about shit like this, and I know Vosh has mentioned this too, because, like, I mean, it's one, like, I'm on a platform that, you know, is pretty iffy about shit like this, for one, and for two, like, you know, it's not, you know, something that you need to fucking, like, make everybody goddamn paranoid about, like, to the point where they're, like, you know, fucking looking around every fucking corner and shit. I mean, because, like, while, yeah, these things are issues, and these are problems, and things are very severe and kind of, like, on the line, so to speak, I mean, people still got lives. I mean, you know, still live your fucking life. I mean, you know, still have fun, still do shit, you know, and so, like, don't let it, you know, impact you to the point where it literally inhibits you from living. Fantasized by arenas. I'm very well fucking aware of that. You're saying these things like I don't know this. Turnabout is fair. Well, hey, you know what code of language is. Because I don't disagree. Like, I mean, I'm just more careful about how I advocate it. Even on a public level, just because, like, I can't just go around, even in public, if I even talking to fellow lefties, being like, yeah, we should just go out and, yeah, just shoot them, or whatever the fuck. Because even they get turned off, right? Like, I mean, so, it's like, even if you feel that way, I mean, it's just like, you gotta code things up a bit. You know, it's not as just simple as just saying, alright, do it. Not no ability to do anything. They don't fucking be so open about it, because it also makes other people look at you a little sussy, at least on the online sphere. In person, not so much, but at least on the online sphere, a lot of lefties, you know, are kind of like, you know, are wary of things like that, because usually, you know, when shit like that is being spread around in different leftist groups and stuff, is usually because they're feds. Like, that's the main reason why. I'm not saying you are, obviously, but I'm just saying that for your own, you know, consideration. Just because there are lefties that will look at that and be like, you're a fed. Even if you aren't. You know, it's like, because I've been called a fed, like, unironically. Even at protests, I've been called that. You know, it's like, and it's like, huh? You know, so, you know, like, it's kind of a weird little thing, but, you know, though I do think there is times where it's meritable, because, yeah, feds literally do overtly infiltrate, you know, these, you know, leftist groups and shit, you know, and, you know, and it's like, when it comes to that type of shit, you know, that's why you gotta be kind of careful about what you say, because, like, you know, one wrong word or one wrong phrase, and suddenly your shit gets cracked down on really hard. Even if it's just, like, out of the spur of the moment type of shit, you know, where it's just like, you know, where it's just like, oh, well, you know, it's like, I agree, but, you know, like, you know, where it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's like, sure, but, you know, just keep it on deal. The only regular listener will know I feel this way, Lamau. I talk very different in Voice chats. You're literally the one who wants to talk about this. Oh, I talked to about that. Well, I mean, okay, well, either way, I'm just saying, like, you know, if you do mention it in, like, other chats and shit, just, you know, be careful with that. Because, I mean, that's why usually lefties openly talk about code of language. That's why the whole thing of, like, in Minecraft or, like, in Roblox and stuff like that, it's, you know, and it's kind of a thing. Because if you don't use code language, you can at least say that and be like, satire. All content is satire. So, I mean, you know, because like I said, I just, like, I mean, on a visceral, like, deep down level, I really don't disagree with you. I really don't. I'm just saying, you know, just gotta keep shit coded. It's also why I get creative about how, you know, I talk about some of these fucks, is why I have, like, very creative names or creative, like, ways of like what should be done with them. Like, you know, it's like, you know, it's like this amoebic rat bag needs to be just like put in a blender and shot to the sun, you know, or whatever the fuck. I mean, it's, you know, it's just like, you gotta have a little fun with it. Don't care anymore. Well, again, you can't let it like beat you down to this fucking point. I mean, you gotta at least still have a little fucking flair with it, a little fun, and at the very minimal, at least have it coated. Not important enough to do either one out. Do you think I'm important enough to do either, but do you think I give a fuck? Hey, maybe you can call me pretentious. Holding more importance, you know, than what I actually feel. At least I feel like I have justified pretentiousness. What literally costs more money than they get in savings. They save what, 10k a year? I don't fucking know. I mean, it's honestly probably way more than that. Just because there's like other costs and other shit that go into it. Oh my god! Oh my god, this fucking dog, bro.
A little bit closer to the floor. The door's up. The door's...
It's slightly, yeah, it's too high up, yeah.
Barely hits it, but the doorstop will slide right across the floor. Okay, let's see if you cannot do that.
Oh my god, I don't understand why he loves being in there so much. I tripped on him earlier. He was in the hallway, I didn't see him and tripped on him. He's just a dork. He's just a little dork.
I do that a lot. Yeah, especially like at night, I'll walk down the hallway and I don't know he's like laying there right.
Yeah, because he's got all that black fur in that dark hallway, you can't tell.
Yeah, same with the cats when they used to come out.
Cool thing.
You know, crapping on the counter, so it's just like, okay, you can stay in here. You don't have to worry about getting down to the floor for the dog.
Even though, like, this dog wouldn't damn hurt. The only thing he would hurt are flies. Like, he wouldn't hurt anything else. He goes after flies like a damn savage. Oh, speaking of which, I see one right here. Do I have anything to kill it with?
I try to find rat trap. Not so much luck.
I'll just order those online when I get a chance. Yeah, got you, bitch.
There's plenty of stuff you can put out rat bait, but I don't want to poison them and the rats will go out and die somewhere.
And then, like, or one of the cats or crows or something.
Yeah, the neighborhood cats or... Well, I wouldn't mind if the coyotes ate them, but other than that...
They hang out way up there more than not.
Well, they could poison them and find all the dead rats and throw them down. Well, the neighbors at the end of the street have that.
Yeah, that's... There's...
If they let them out, probably not for long, coyotes, I guess. Oh, Bandit was out for, like, years.
Well, it was probably because, like, there weren't really that... Oh my god, he actually tried to stuff himself in there, and now he's realizing he can't. He stuffed
No.
him. Yeah, like what that? Why? He was at.
No, you don't go in there. And you can walk through there. It'd be one thing if I opened the door and you jumped out of the way, but I gotta try to push you out the way of the door. And you so you first stuck under it and you yelp and you whine because it hurts. I don't blame you.
Fucking silly little mutt.
Mine too.
Calling for a complete shutdown of Canadian border, as they're obviously not sending their best. Oh, you saw that video? I saw that on my homepage. The Canada First weirdo. Like the Canadian Nick Fuentes or something. I haven't seen it yet, and I was actually thinking about checking it up here in a second. But since you already got a link, then I'm not going to bother looking it up. It's already there. Mexico sending better quality people than Canada. Based on the content of said video above. Well, just on the fact that, like, there's a lot of, like, legit, like, good hard-working migrants that come from Mexico and from the southern border. Like, a lot. I would probably tend to agree, at least on that virtue alone. But also, Canada doesn't send a lot of people over here. So, it's just like, it's far less quantity, and thus, it's going to have less quality. I mean, when you got such, high quantity coming down from the south and stuff, I mean, there's a lot more quality that's going to be around, So it's just like, I mean, we were talking about it from, like, last night a little bit, like, when it comes to, like, immigration and shit. It's just like, I want them motherfuckers to come here. And, it's like, I want them to, like, bring some of that cool, like, culture and cool shit and all that type of stuff. They're literally the only thing I want them to be assimilated in. It's like, here you go, citizenship. Alright, you're assimilated. That's it. That's literally as far as it would go. It's like, you want to be a citizen? Here you go. You lived here enough, you got a job, paying taxes, you're assimilated enough. Here's the official completion to that process. And there you go, that's it. No, like, oh, citizenship test, citizenship class. It's like, fuck that. I think the virtue of, people wanting to come here and work and pay taxes and, like, partake in the fucking, economy and shit is more than enough. Require military service. We don't even do that for our own citizens. Fuck that. Dude, fuck any idea of military requirement. Get a native draft. What fucking backwards racist shit is this? And we don't want the proper native whites to fucking go out and die. Let's make all the brown people do it. So, like, you really want to think about that again? You want to see where that goes down? Span to everybody then. How about to nobody? How about no goddamn military requirements? There are literally just people, like, do you really think you're built to be in the fucking military? Like, seriously, do you really think having a military requirement for all citizens is like a fucking good idea? Private Pile for Full Metal Jacket, 7.62 millimeter Full Metal Jacket. Then he kills Armory Lee and then blows his head off in the bathroom. How many people like that, would snap because of shit like that? It already happens now. You got places like Fort Pendleton and Fort Hood that have a lot of that shit happen all the fucking time. They keep it under the fucking rug and shit because of how notorious it is. I will allow you to decline, but you don't get associated benefits. What? Again, how about we just don't have fucking military requirements? Fuck that. Literally just on the virtue that you wouldn't even make it past boot camp. Let alone someone like me. Like, maybe I would, but I'd definitely be scarred and honestly a different person. What's better than dictatorship? Required military service, you know, doesn't inherently sound like a democracy, because where's my choice? Where's my voice in that? Oh, I don't get one. Go in, but I don't care to vote. So, you basically just, like, you know, like, want a system where you don't want to partake in it, but you want everyone else to. It's just like, I mean, that's the problem. It's like, if you don't, then why is everyone else not included? Fuck that. Like, everyone, you know, it's like, if, you know, like, everyone, like, if somehow everyone needs to do it, then everybody gets to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's like, if we're gonna go with the absolutes here. So better get those fatigues in. Is he still trying to get in there? Oh my god. Oh wait, hold on. I'll just pull it up here for a bit. It's okay, so again, you're never going to convince me that, like, some sort of, like, you know, military draft requirements, like, going to be a good idea, period. Never in 1,000 billion jillion years will you ever convince me of such shit. Like, if there's definitely one thing I'm going to be stubborn about, it would definitely be that. It's like having a, you know, volunteer service and shit is just fine, because there's plenty of people that are all gung-ho about military and stuff that, you know, will, you know, pick up the fucking slack. And there honestly are a lot of people out there that are very gung-ho about it, that, you know, very patriotically go in and, you know, serve the military and shit all the time. And plenty of people that don't, well, they don't. Like, there shouldn't be any fucking, like, you know, requirements and shit. I mean, you know, it's like, if you want a little compromise, then how about this? You know, it's just like, you know, then how about there's, like, some elective classes in high school or something that is, like, you know, a jointed partner program with, like, the military or some shit, where you could take classes, you know, about, like, you know, military history and, like, the basics about, like, you know, what it is like to be in the military or some shit. That'd be my compromise position. How about that? So then you can get, you know, so then you can push the propaganda about pushing people to the military, and they could openly take classes about it. So then you can get those, you know, boots, you know, numbers up. Of course, you understand war before you vote for it. And you don't have to go to war to understand that. Because, frankly, like, I mean, I understand war. I've never been in war, but I understand enough of it to understand what the fuck it's about. Like, I mean, you don't have to be in a war to understand war. Like, there's plenty of, like, military historians that aren't, you know, veterans and shit, but understand about, like, the military and, like, wars and stuff like that, just literally by studying it in its history. So, I mean, it's just like, you can understand that shit without having to be in the fucking military going to war, dude. Like, I'm kind of a military buff guy myself. I mean, that's, you know, it's like, yeah, I understand, you know, some of these aspects of things just because I have a slight interest in this. You know, not in the actual military and joining it itself, but just kind of like the surface level things about it, like, you know, the cool tanks and, you know, some of the cool, you know, shit. And honestly, even some aspects about boot camp, it looks kind of cool. You know what I mean? But the thing is, it's like, I wouldn't want to be a part of the military whatsoever, despite, you know, some aspects of my interest around it. But everything else about it doesn't interest me. You know, it's mostly about, like, the big boom booms and shit like that, you know, and, like, some of the, like, kind of communal aspect about things, you know, when, you know, like, when you're like with you and your unit and shit like that. Like, there's a very strong camaraderie and stuff like, I mean, there's a lot of stuff about it that I think is kind of cool. But, I mean, that doesn't excuse or justify anything about the military necessarily, at least in its current form. You know, but nonetheless, you know, despite that, it's like, because of that, you know, I have at least somewhat of an understanding about the shit, and yeah, it's fucked up, which is why I, you know, I'm very critical about it. Like, I even kind of had a hunch about it, you know, when I was considering on joining the military when I was in high school. I was kind of like, do I really want to? Even though I was still talking with some of the recruiters at high school whenever they showed up. Whether it was USMC, Army, National Guard, or whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, you have to remember, there was a time in my life where I was actually considering that. I'd be a totally different motherfucker, honestly. You know, like, if I was, like, you know, if I did that, I mean, I honestly would totally be a different person right now. Oh, shit. I mean, I feel like politically it wouldn't really be that much different, but, I mean, I don't know. It's totally different, you know, me that could have been. Though I'm kind of glad I didn't. Because then, frankly, I probably would have been in Afghanistan when that, you know, fucking crazy shit happened. I probably would have been in Iraq, maybe Syria or some shit. Like, do I really want to do that? Fuck no. I've seen enough shit on, like, r/watch people die back when that was a thing, /r/combat footage, and, like, all these other live leaks. I've seen enough shit out there that goes on to be like, nope. Nope. I'm good. Or already, well, yeah. And at least back to the whole, like, requirement thing. At least I have to point out before we get into this video that you sent me. Like, that's the reason why some people aren't cut for it. And it shouldn't be a requirement. Because, like, fundamentally, at the end of the day, there are some people, like me, you know, that are just like, no. Even if I do kind of think some aspects about certain shit, you know, it's kind of cool. Like, another thing that I kind of, like about the military a little bit is uniforms. I think, you know, a nice kind of snazzy uniform looks pretty dope. I mean, I'm kind of a sucker for, like, a really cool dress uniform, personally. But that's just my opinion. I'm a little bit of a sucker for it. You know, so, like, I mean, you know, there's just different shit that I do kind of like about it. But then there's, well, the serious fucking shit, you know, where it's like, nope. It's like, hell no. Like, it's like, I don't want to have anything to do with that. Like, when it comes to actually being on the front lines of things. I mean, look at the fucking Ukrainian war right now. Do you think I want to be, you know, out in some shit like that? Fuck no. Hell no. I admire the bravery and the fucking courage, you know, of anyone having to go out and do that shit, but not for me. I wouldn't mind being logistics behind, you know, in the background, you know, helping supply them and shit, right? Like, or being a messenger or something like that. Like, I wouldn't mind doing stuff like that, but, nah. You know, anything beyond that, I'm not really about. Playing nerds doing military hockey. Well, yeah, I know well, that's the thing. I know in the military there's plenty of other things than just being a grunt boot on the ground. You know, like, for sure. But, like, at the end of the day, your core job, regardless of what specialization that you have, is a rifleman. Like, if you're a rifleman in your squad, or, like, a drone operator in your squad, I mean, to the core root, you're still a rifleman. Like, I mean, this is, like, one thing that is kind of taught in the military, especially when it comes to, like, you know, being on squad deployment and shit. Like, at the end of the day, you're still a rifleman, but even with specialization, like, when it comes to, like, you know, if you're a grenadier, I mean, well, you still have your rifle. The grenade launcher is, you know, what's attached to it, usually. Or you have that on your back, you know, as part of your kit. But nonetheless, you're still the rifleman. Rifle school style. Not really. The military just contracted a rifle that's basically like kind of a jack of all trades. Like, it could be interchanged into a DMR, LMG, and a QCB rifle, like an SBR, and it can also just be a standard combat rifle. Like the military just contracted SIG, you know, for the FSX, I think it's called. Like, the rifle is, like, they're trying to, like, basically make it, you know, like, the rifle, or at least, you know, contracted rifles and shit, like, basically to be, you know, kind of like jack of all trades. I meant rifleman. Well, again, I don't really think so. I mean, because if you have, like, an all-purpose rifle that could be interchanged into an LMG or a DMR, based on the specific needs that are needed for a squad, you know, while on deployment, then, you know, the whole core, part of the job of being in a squad is being the rifleman still there. It's just that depending on the specialization and the needs needed for the mission, you can now change your rifle into either being a DMR, an LMG, or something else, you know, given the parameters around the mission. I should have taken over military jobs. I know this. Look at drones. Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, humans are still going to be needed, you know, to some extent or another, including on the front lines. You know, humans are still going to be in their shit. We'll have Terminator shit. Well, yeah, there's going to be kind of a, like, in-between period where there's going to be humans and robots and drones. I mean, we're in that now. I mean, with the drones and all this shit, I mean, people are still controlling it, but nonetheless, I mean, we're definitely there at this point. In its nascent stages. Sounds like a bunch of hippie lib pussing out, like, no. Back in high school, I was offered to join the military and said no. You know what they did instead? Stowed away on the military ship with nothing to eat but a Slim Jim for 4 days. Now I reached in the Middle East to single-handedly track down Osama and decapitate him. Yes, it says hanging on my wall. Damn, bro. Damn. It just kind of reminds me of some of the people that basically did war tourism. You know, when the Ukraine war just, you know, recently, you know, when it was recently in this breakout stage. Because, oh my god, like, there was a few Americans, not just Americans, but Brits, like, a few people from different countries were just dead-ass, unironically, like, let me go to Ukraine and fight. They went there for, like, a month. You know, they were on the front line for literally, like, 2 days, and didn't do shit, and then left, and was like, I don't like this. You know, like, they had, like, one combat, you know, like, experience, and they're like, never mind. I was out there, bro. They come back like a month later. It's like, I was out there in the fight, man. Yeah, for like 2 hours. And then he pussied out like a bitch. But yeah. Enough of this, the goodness, gracious gobbledygooks and funness. Let's get into this, absurd Canadian. Let's get into the Canuck.
A common theme on the show lately is about how the right is becoming increasingly violent in their rhetoric. And we're getting to the point where a lot of them are just saying the quiet part loud. We saw this when a bunch of right-wingers reacted to Ted Cruz denouncing Uganda's anti-gay law. They were saying, no, Uganda's based. We want that here in the United States.
Oh, now you realize that now you're going to have a problem with the other door.
Give me a break.
They're saying it lately. Ian Miles Chong or Miles Ian Chong, I always swap them. Fill in the blank. That dude, you know who I'm talking about? He responded to someone who made an anti-Semitic tweet, and he said, Jews aren't the problem. And then he got ratioed with a bunch of people saying, actually they are, sharing...
I mean, of course. Of course the Nazis like, you know, the Jews might, you know, be a part of the issue, but they're not, like, the root of the problem, guys. And all the rest of the Nazis are like, ratio. It's like, yes, they are. It's just like, good lord, bro. Fucking frothed mouth freaks.
Pro-Hitler images. So they're just increasingly feeling really bold, and they're coming out and just saying it. So I want to look at...
Why is there a black sedan coming down my driveway for a messing man black driving? Huh? What? Huh? I don't know. What? Uh-oh.
Full of videos here where you have right-wingers just saying what I'd assume many, if not most, right-wingers are thinking. So this is America First activist Tyler Russell. And America First, by the way, like when we see this, this is basically code for Nazi-like, and I don't think that that's hyperbole. But he explains what the far-right white nationalist base really wants. So let's go ahead and listen. I may need to refresh the video since Ellen broke Twitter, but...
I just saw a black Sam someone in a stereotypical black suit in my driveway. Maybe it's just like some weird business dude or some shit. Could it be like someone from the bank, maybe? I mean, it's definitely weird. I mean, just to have that happen, I mean, and just not know about it. No tags. Okay, that is definitely weird. Do you think it might have something to do with your stepdad? Your step douche? The step shit? It's the motherfucking men in black. Dude, the men in black are gonna fucking just like... Dude, they're gonna fucking erase your memory, bro. Dude, Rosa, like, immediately afterwards just said the same thing, dude. We're all like, it's the men in black, bro. Oh, shit, bro. The men in black. Venom is Venom. Oh, shit. Dude, run. don't actually run. That would probably even be worse. Just start, like, running out, driving, like, oh, shit. You just took a picture and left? What the hell? That is so... What? Dude, that is weird. Dude, take a picture of that. Dude, like, honestly, I mean, if he's still there, like, just, like, take a picture or something. Like, actually, like, seriously, that is some weird shit, dude. Like, make sure, like, I mean, that's too late. Fuck. Man, I should have said that earlier. Fuck. Because that would, dude, that's weird. If he's taking pictures, then you should have took his son. Dude, that was fucking weird, bro. That, oh, dude, what the fuck? Well, at least let someone know about that. That's, very suspicious.
What he says here is, not surprising if you've been paying attention, but hopefully the normies will see this and wake up.
Is, you know, libertarian populist people that are like, we need to actually have political substance. You know what? No, I don't give a f*** about that, okay? I don't care about your political substance.
Wait, is he Canadian? Because he just said a boat.
A boat? Yeah. And also just like, you know, I don't care about your dude, what is like that weird shit he was doing? It's like, I don't care about your substance. Like, what, you trying to spit like a bar or something, bro?
Let me go back. If this is a Canadian speaking about America first, I'm gonna be very, very angry.
People that are like, we need to actually have political substance. You know what? No, I don't give a f*** about that, okay?
He is Canadian, a boat. You just outed yourself. Are you LARPing as an American?
He is.
Possibly, I don't know. There's a lot of Canadians, Steven Crowder, others, but, you know, not all Canadians can be like Lance or David Dole. Some Canadians are shitty.
I don't care about your political substance. I want a Trump Reich. I want a Trump Reich.
Trump Reich, yo. Oh my god. You know what I want to have about is a Trump Reich, man. And I want, you know, Canada to be annexed, and, you know, so we can have, you know, a good Trump Reich built. Eh?
And I want Trump's face to be, you know, projected onto every single tallest skyscraper in every city around America. Okay?
Oh my god. Dude, this fucking little LARP, bro. Oh my god. I wouldn't even, like hurt him. I would just literally just, like, shove him in a locker, give him a few swirlies, dunk his head in a toilet for at least, like, a minute or two. Okay, maybe I would a little bit. But, I mean, and just, yeah, like, I mean, he just needs to be, like, high school bullied so hard.
That's what I want. We don't want freedom. We want a total Trumpian Reich, okay? That's what we want. We want...
Dude, oh my god, this guy is really hardcore, like, LARPing, bro. Oh my god. What is, like, this shit you're doing, bro? Like, what, do you wish you have a gun? That's why you moved to America, so you can actually get one, so you can, like, actually use it as a prop here, and then accidentally shoot your camera because you're an idiot?
Trumpian Reich.
Dude, yeah, Trump would literally use this dude as a meat shield and then take a shit on him once he got shot.
We want dictator Trump. We want Trump to rule forever and ever. And make America great again.
Wasn't the whole point about that, like, you know, doing that, you know, like a long time ago? Like, damn near 8 years ago?
who are traitors to this nation to go to jail.
So you?
That's what we want. All of these DeSantis.
Okay. A Trump Reich. I mean, he said it, but somebody in the chat also said he's Canadian. Let me fact check that really quick here, because I am curious now. I'm just gonna Google.
I mean, this guy literally just wants his own country to be invaded.
Name.
He would just basically be wearing the American armband and be like, "See, I'm a good Canadian, eh?"
Canadian.
I'm not one of those French Canadians, eh?
Is a Canadian.
Meow. Dun, dun.
Canada First exposed months inside one of Canada's biggest, youngest, and newest white supremacist chat rooms. Tyler L. Russell is ripping off Nick Fuentes with the aim of securing a white ethnic state in Canada. He's recruiting an army of nameless, faceless kids to do it. And now, this month...
White ethnic state in Canada, bro. Oh my god. Like, what the fuck? I mean, what the fuck?
Comes to America and says, no, I want a Trump Reich here. I'm sorry, we need to lock down our northern border. Wall.
We need to build a wall. Like, yeah, you know what? Like, I was thinking about going to Vancouver, BC, but you know what? We need a wall, and we need it literally over the rail tracks too. So when next Amtrak goes over, it's like inches away from actually crashing into it, and be like, well, there's literally a wall. I guess we can't go. Time to reverse it. And it just starts doing a reverse.
You're all amazing. But the ones that move to the United States, it's like the worst. Because the smart Canadians know to stay in Canada because that's where the free healthcare is. I'm not one to be like, hey, we need to shut down the borders, but to this asshole, you. Trump Reich.
Trump Reich, Canuck ass maple syrup sipping little fucking bitch.
You. Now, he's not alone though, because Newsmax guests also said something. Woke capitalism taking over America. Listen, if all these conservatives are so outraged about woke capitalism, I think the only solution is to abolish capitalism. Let's have the workers seize the means of production.
Protections, well, that too.
I just said protection.
Well, I mean, protections, for social services stuff, yeah, based, yeah, that too.
Workers seize the means of production, and that's it. No more woke, right? If workers can control these companies, if they have a democratic vote and they overthrow the boards, they take over the...
And actually, have representation and direct voice when it comes to the work that they actually do. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's called democracy.
They wouldn't say that because they don't know what capitalism or socialism is. But let's listen to this guest here.
I predicted 20 years ago.
Champion for America's borders. Are you going to advocate that people like...
Wait. Mike Savage... Oh my god, dude.
Russell, get the fuck out.
Like, I thought, the champion for America's borders was Trump. Like, how in the fuck are... Oh my god.
In a not-so-joking way, like Jonathan Swift, that if we don't stop these psychopathic haters, they will snap the...
Alright, well, that's a little bit of a accidental on strips. Like, yeah, like these, haters like you. Like you freaks.
The graves of our war memorials. How far away are we from someone saying, all those crosses make me uncomfortable, and I want them snapped off the graves of dead soldiers?
Who in the... What in the hell is this straw man? Like, what? Okay, I mean, when it comes to, crosses and shit, do they make me uncomfortable? Frankly, yeah. But... am I going to, to face that shit at some memorial, war memorial or otherwise? No. I mean, so, what the fuck? I mean, it's no. No one's going to do that unless they're just, an utter dick. And an utter piece of shit. As far as I'm concerned, I guess. But that's just IMO. What?
Okay. This is where you can tell they just don't know what to talk about. They are making up things to be outraged about. Oh, well, what if one day they want to snatch these crosses off of dead soldiers' graveyards? Who's thinking about this?
Nobody.
Who wants to do that? Who wants to
Nobody but a boxcar and a jug of wine.
Create graves. I mean, I think that most people They have lives, and they're not concerned with weird fucking things like this. I mean, I personally, again, I'm not thinking about woke corporations or what I'm outraged by. Like, I just want to spend time playing Tears of the Kingdom, right? I want to hang out with my dog. I want to finish Carnival Row.
I'd be okay with removing all religious symbols besides just me. Well, yeah, I'm okay with that too. But, I mean, when it comes to, like, graveyards and shit, those are just, they're graves. Like, I mean, that's not a big deal to me. Like, I'd get rid of it when it comes to, like, you know, like, public government offices and public buildings and shit.
2 episodes left. It's pretty good. I mean, it is bizarre. It's so weird.
Who's going to stop them, Carl? Carl,
Yeah,
I've had enough.
but-
I've had enough. I'm an old man, but I'll tell you something. I'm willing to pick up bombs. I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it anymore, dude.
I can't take this anymore.
Well, I see your frustration. I mean, look, you want to mess with the headstones of Arlington National Cemetery.
Are there people doing this? And by the way, I thought that this was the guest, but apparently this is the guest. I haven't pre-watched this.
It's like all these people.
I don't think anyone's doing it.
Trans your kids without your son. What? Just
Oh, we're gonna trans your kids.
We're gonna have those kids all trans and defame fucking war memorials and destroy statues or something, I guess. That's the communist agenda.
God, so many
Oh my
parents,
god, bro.
They send their kid to school with fucking a Paw Patrol backpack, a little boy to school. All of a sudden, 3 o'clock hits, the boy comes home with a wig on and a dress. The kid was trans, completely permanent.
Permanent
It's happening
transing.
more and more. It's crazy.
hear me out.
It's just a
Mike.
strange phenomenon, bro. It's like, one day you wake up and you send your boy off to school and they come back from school and they're just your little girl out of nowhere. It's just crazy, dude. It just happens all the time. It's just,
What happens if I just started, or we started going around as conservatives, started baptizing people in elementary school without parental consent? The liberals would lose their mind.
rightfully so, you dumb fuck. Like, what analogy is that supposed to be? Like, yeah, no kid should be baptized out of school, you fucking nub. Like, duh. Like, I mean, is this supposed to be like, oh, well, then you should be trans kids? Like, that's not, like, that's a false analogy, you fucking shitbag worm fuck.
Why not do it?
Yeah, you can,
Did he really just say, why not do it? Oh my god.
You can't do that. That's illegal. That would violate the First Amendment. I mean, you could do that at private schools, but it would be very weird. And actually, this was done, right? There was a school that did like a mass baptism, and the parents complained because they didn't get permission. And it wasn't necessarily...
Oh yeah, you know what? I kind of remember this. This happened not that long ago, did it? Some parents complained after more than 100 students were baptized in North Carolina school without their consent.
in school, to be clear, and the parents weren't mad that their kids were baptized. They were mad that they were baptized and they weren't there to watch it. But
It's like, oh, you baptized my kids? Well, why didn't you tell me about it? I wanted to see it. It's like, it's a special moment for my kid. It's like, oh my god. I mean, it's literally for like the most stupidest reason, but it's just like the fact that this shit does happen at schools is kind of fucking insane, honestly. It's just like, what the fuck?
let me Google what he's talking about. Arlington Cemetery. Bishop Barron expresses outrage over desecration at Catholic cemetery. This is from 2022.
And that's also a Catholic cemetery, so it's not even like, so is it not even the Arlington War Cemetery, or is it attached to it?
Let me see what the story is here. Okay, so yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, okay. Well, they don't even look like graves. They just look like, like decorative pieces that are in the grave, gravesite, I don't even think those are graves.
Graffiti looks like they drew a dick on Jesus. Am I seeing a dick and balls?
Yeah, no, that's a
I think
broken
it's
heart.
A heart, actually. Yeah, it's a heart, okay. And a happy face. Or is this Mary? No. I actually don't know. No, this is Jesus.
Yeah, it's meant to be Jesus.
Anyways, let me see. So, desecration, hateful, obscene graffiti on Halloween night. He assured his prayers for families. So, I mean, this is the only thing that I could see from 2022. But when you see this, do you automatically...
And it's not even the Arlington Cemetery. It's just some Catholic cemetery. So it's just literally just a random cemetery. So they're just like making up shit based off of one random story that happened last year.
That the left did it. I mean, this is probably like some teenager that did it.
Yeah, these are probably literally, it happened on Halloween night, from what I said. So these are literally probably just teenagers who are being a little, like doing some good trouble, anarchistic, like, angsty little kids or some shit. Got some paint and decided to fuck around. I mean, it's just like, I did this shit, dude. Like, I was doing this when I was a teenager on things like Halloween night and stuff. I mean, it's like, oh no, the depravity, the audacity. Teenagers having fun in the middle of the night.
I just don't. I don't know why you would blame.
And it's like, you could clean it too. It's like, I mean, this is whatever. I mean, I honestly thought it was like meant like the actual Arlington War Memorial, especially of how they were couching it. But of course it isn't. It's literally just some random fucking cemetery.
And make it seem as if this is some white.
It's not even graves. It's just like, decorative pieces that are like, at the cemetery. I mean, those aren't graves. Those are just decorative pieces.
Oh, it is white Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, it's white Jesus.
It is Jesus. Oh, and they also spray painted his face blue.
A blue Jesus
Satan.
now.
Oh, they spray painted Satan.
Oh.
And they spray painted his toes. Yeah. So I guess, I mean, maybe that's what they're angry about. But is this
I think it's literally just because of the Satan thing, and then just Jesus is blue now instead of white.
Phenomenon. Like, again, they are making up a reason to be outraged, and then they're saying, "Oh, I'm so mad. I can't take it anymore. Be violent." They're working themselves into such a frenzy that they're becoming increasingly violent. It's just so unhinged. But I mean, this is the right. This is what they do now. So, you can expect their rhetoric to get even more violent, especially in the lead up to the 2024 election. And it's only going to get worse. You can.
It's like, hey, FBI. Like, if you say that, like, white nationalists, like, terrorism and shit like that is, like, the number one threat domestically in the U.S. and shit, then, why don't you do anything about it? It's like, yeah, we observe that these things happen. Are we going to do anything about it? Sometimes here and there, maybe. But not really. Nah. Because, like, what the fuck? Like, you literally have, like, public figures saying this shit. And random Canadian LARP fucks, that are, like, infiltrating our country and spreading this bullshit, too. It's like, the fuck. Like, I mean, hey, McFly, you there? Can we, do something about this, please? Like, I mean, you can't just merely be like, it exists, and not do anything about it. It's like, what the fuck? Damn. I mean, maybe there will be a little bit more of a crackdown, but I highly doubt it. Let's prepare. Well, yeah, I mean, be vigilant and, take the necessary precautions and stay safe, but at the same time, I mean, live and love and have fun and, fuck shit up. And speaking of fuck shit up, I'm gonna fuck shit up at work. It's probably gonna be dead as shit because it's Saturday. Oh, so fun. But, anyway, let's call it good for now. But of course, be back around for the next one. So, peace out, and I shall see you all in the next one. So,